welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today I'll be working on stage 10 of the Moomin house. As you can see, I've taken the house or the wall back off of here. Got the wires in this one. Last issue we put the paneling on here. I'm just looking. These should be smooth enough. It's not going to show. Both edges have been sanded down. This because it had a little bit of glue on it. This because it didn't look like it was going to actually match up, because it looked like the fill piece here I had put in incorrectly. So I've sanded them both down. It's ready for the wallpapering, quote unquote. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, open all the next pack, get all the wallpaper out, and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, so the beginning of stage 10, it tells you to put the wall in the way I've been storing it anyway, because what you've got to do is you've got to go from here and figure out where that line is going to be. So let me go ahead and pull this out, and every time I pull these out, I have to remember to make sure I don't pull the wires out of the wall. I'm going to have to figure out something not to screw up the wallpaper, which the wallpaper is actually vinyl, which those are the parts you get in here in this stage. Plus you get the little lamp and the two wooden pieces that will make up the ceiling. That's going to be very helpful when I go to put the line across here, because I'll know where the wall is supposed to intersect up on the top. Hello. That's supposed to be, let me see, what does it say? Ground floor, walls, and ceiling. This is going to be a little bit interesting because it doesn't look like it matches up perfectly to this wall. So what you're supposed to do is you find this spot right here and you put a little mark on the wall. It says, using a set square, draw a straight vertical line down the wall, or down the wall from the point marked. I do have one, but I don't think it's quite long enough. See, it's not long enough. Plus, it's got these bumps on it. I could use it like this, but it would still not get me exactly where I need to be. So instead, I'm going to put this piece of wall back in, making sure I've got it on the right side. Nope, got it backwards again. I do that every time I put this wall in. So now that it's back in place, relatively straight, because this has got to be as straight as possible, and I will make sure before I actually put anything there. Putting a line here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. What I'm going to do, take a ruler, I'm going to make sure that this is straight with the set square, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I've done so that there's a line on there to give me where my wallpaper goes. I will be back. Okay, so I've drawn the line, and you'll see it's kind of fuzzy. This second line here was where I was using the wall set square. It didn't work. I actually was able to put the ceiling on here, fit the ceiling, and it does actually fit. It is perfectly lined up. A little bit tight, had to work with it a little bit, but this is actually the straight line that will fall behind this wall. Don't know how important it is to have that perfect, but I think it's going to be pretty important in the long run. So let me go ahead and take a look and see what it says to do next. Make sure to sand these off, and then check which wallpaper will be stuck on which wall. Paper A will be glued to the wall pictured above, which is this side, and this is paper A is going to go on here. Paper B, paper C are going to go on this side. Paper B over here, paper C over here. And it says is self-adhesive. Remove protective film from the bottom edge. Fold it over by about 2 centimeters. Place the lower edge of the wallpaper. It says lower edge. but it looks like it's actually the this edge. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and you'll see it when I get back. Okay, that was nerve-wracking. I've got a few bubbles and creases here. I've learned my lesson. This will be the only wall that I attempt to do the way they said to do, which is start at the bottom edge. That's where I got my creases from. Start at one edge or the other. Bring it across. Don't peel the paper, the backing all the way off. I peeled it off when I was about halfway, and it rolled over and linked up to itself. And so I've got a couple of really minor creases here and there that if the light hits just right, you can see where the door is. The wire was right here. It was a lot of, it wasn't the easiest thing to do. A lot of stuff going on, but it's on there. It looks pretty good. This will get trimmed off, this excess. Got a little bit of a crease there in the corner, and the crease in the door is from one of the wires popping in. Also, I'm going to call this a pro tip. You can call it whatever you want. I put a drop of super glue in each of these holes. Probably should have done it sooner. Now the wires won't move when I'm taking it on and off the platform there. So the next thing it says to do is take a knife and very carefully, go ahead and turn to the next page. Very carefully position on a model mat using craft knife. Cut the doorway as shown in the diagram above. I actually have a piece of wood I'm going to put it on. Well, I'm going to put the modeling mat on because it's not straight, not flat. I want it to be as close to the flat as I can. The scalpel should be relatively sharp. I'll do it on the other side here as well, which is away from me. That actually works better. Get the wood block out of the way. Hold the mat up. Having a small mat like this is helpful. Sometimes people laugh a little bit about it on our streams, but that's okay. Especially when I first got it, because somebody was like, you've got wax paper on a mat that's on a mat that's got wax paper on it to protect the mat. I want to try and keep the mats as nice as I can for as long as I can. So that's got that off. Got a little bit of trimming on this side to do, which actually I should be able to just push that in. There is going to be a door frame on here. And so there's the first wall. A little bit shiny, but there's not supposed to be, the house isn't designed to have lights in it. I'm putting them in anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the next wall. I'm going to do that, trim that out, and I will be back. I just wanted to pop in or on pause for a minute and show you this wall came up so much better. I wrapped the edge around here. It says to go ahead and do that. Did the same over here. May cause me problems down the line. I don't expect it to. If it does, I'll just sand it off. So let me work on the third piece. Get rid of this extra piece here. I'll work on the third piece. It's going to go on here just like this, and then I'm going to trim the door just like I did before. If it says if there's a small gap, don't worry about it. It will be covered by, it says it'll be covered by a wall later, but I already have that wall. So let me go ahead and position that one, and we'll be back. So just to show you my technique, and I'm not sure if they'd unpaused quick enough to hear when I started talking, but to show the technique I'm using, like I said, I'm doing it this way instead of from the bottom up. Slowly peel it over as I go across. work it down with my thumbs, and you'll see it's actually peeling the paper off, the backing paper, as I go. I don't have to actually peel it off. This edge could be interesting because if it has as much as the first edge did, it's going to wrap around and be visible on the other side. So I may have to cut that off. But nope, it is just right to wrap in here and seal it down. You can see a little bit of a line here when the light catches it just right where the paper comes across from the other side. But I think that looks pretty good. Also, because of what this material is, this is basically, it's a sheet vinyl. So if you have something of a different pattern you want to use, say you have a cricket and you have colors that, or other panels, other types of paper you'd like to use, there's no reason why you can't. So I'm doing the same thing on this side that I did on the other side to open the door. Over here, did it again, did not get it completely cut to the top. Let me double check up here, make sure it's cut. And the problem is that it's not a brand new scalpel. It's not as sharp as it could be. And again, I'm going to just fold this over because there will be a door frame in there. So that has got my first wall. This actually, it's stressed me a little bit. Didn't know how well it was going to come together. Go ahead and put these. I'm not going to put the wires back through. Actually, yeah, I'll leave it for right now. The interesting part is going to be lining up these wires and putting holes in the top, in the roof once it is done, or the ceiling actually. I'm going to go ahead and put the walls back on both sides here. And the reason I'm doing that is that once I have, come on, I haven't glued the wires yet in here, so I'll have to do that later. But the reason I'm putting that together like that is that once this is dry, the next step, once it's dry, I'll store it actually on there to make sure it'll fit. So the next step is to put the ceiling panels together, and something is keeping my desk from being completely level. For this, need some clamps and just some wood glue. They show taping across it. I will probably do that, but you don't want to have the glue running out of the seam when you do that, because then you're going to end up with the tape to the roof of or to the ceiling. Won't be so bad because where the lines are, that's where the ceiling joists are going to be. There's actually framework that you can see inside the house, and that's actually where I'm going to hide my lights at, is in that framework. So a little bit of glue. You bring this mat back over. Set this on here. Push this down, and you can see it's got glue seeping. This side is actually not sealing up completely. We'll get a little bit of tape. And it's not 100% imperative that you get the seam completely flat. It's not completely flat on this one. Get it as flat as you can. Like I said, this side you can see there's a gap that will not shut. tape across here. Don't have it wide enough. Go ahead and, I'm going to run tape on both sides actually. And just use some low tack tape that's not going to leave a residual stickiness. Put this across here. And then I'm going to clamp it to hopefully keep it a flat joint. Okay, and that is it. It says to store this piece. Oh, once this is dry, and I'll do that off screen, it's going to get painted because you can see it's very light colored. It's going to get painted with the brown paint that came with it. It's going to be a really thinned out mixture. I like the way that it looks. I could use stain. I'm using the brown paint that came with the model instead. I believe it's either an oil based or it's an acrylic, and I think it looks really good. So that's all for stage 10. Hope you're enjoying this build. Sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking for me, but I'm enjoying it a lot. It's testing my modeling skills a little bit because you're actually taking wooden parts. You're not taking screws and things like that. You're just gluing wood together. So it's a little bit more of a challenge than some other part works. Put that away. So like, subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Discord, Facebook, and YouTube. See what we're doing. You can join our Discord through the links that are going to be in the description. Have a great day today. Have a great day tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you on the next video.